Hello, I'm Dee Atwal.
And I'm Leah Bolton.
You're watching Fraser Focus.
Local places.
And local faces.
Let's check out today's show.
Back by popular demand, our Turn It Up segment is coming up. This week, country music artist Rod Black.
In the lead up to Remembrance Day, a local business is stepping up to help those that served.
2 arms for me. Who says you need to retire and take it easy? Famous photographer Dee Lippingwell is in her 70s and bowling strikes.
Woo!
Covering the region from Delta to Hope.
What are we waiting for? On with the show. I'm Leah Bolton.
I'm Dee Atwal.
Fraser Focus, a fresh perspective beyond the bridge.
You're watching Fraser Focus, local faces and local places. We're here in the Fraser region with country music artist Rod Black. Welcome back to our Turn It Up segment.
I'm getting down to the bottom. I went and drank another down. Me and your picture regrets that linger and the memories hard to drown. The kind of music that I do is country rock based on music that I grew up with. Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, the list goes on. When I got older, I got into AC/DC and Metallica and all that kind of stuff.
That's a little different.
Yeah, so I've kind of amalgamated the two, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
You were born and raised out here?
Yes. My dad was in a rodeo family, well, my whole family in general. Outrider for chuck wagon racing. My grandma and my grandpa were barrel racers. My dad broke horses, and yeah, pretty much raised around a whole crazy group of cowboys and cowgirls.
In Langley?
Langley, we lived in Squamish, we lived in Surrey, out in Hope, all over Abbotsford.
What did you first think of Rod's music when you heard it?
I was very attracted to it due to the fact that it's rock and country and there's substance in the songs. And that's what country music's missing today. And Rod's bringing that back to the industry.
The reason I was interested in Rod and working with him is we could just relate on the music and the way music's going. He's got a great voice, he's got fantastic writing skills, and we've dabbled in different genres of music. When we got together and started writing together, there was just something that I believed in him.
So Way Back When is kind of a reminiscing type song. Go Big or Go Home is really just all about believing in yourself. Yeah, it's just been a really interesting ride so far.
You can catch Rod at the Grand Ole Opry in October of 2019. You're watching Fraser Focus. Stay with us.
It took me 50 years before I actually got up courage. That's in 1995, before I actually went to a memorial service.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me, right there. Oh, I don't know, I just found it now, you know.
You didn't know that was there?
No.
And you've been here every year?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Canadians recognize November the 11th at 11 a.m. every year as Remembrance Day. It marks the end of hostilities during World War I and is an opportunity for us to recall all those great individuals that have served our great nation ever since. Here in Cloverdale, a local business has stepped up to honor those veterans still standing.
I joined the Home Guard in 1940, and I was 16 at the time, because I served with the Royal Marines for 3.5 years, and I got invalided out through war wounds in September of 1945. I never attended a Remembrance Day memorial service for 50 years, you know, with the war and everything. You get affected a little bit, and I just couldn't go to a memorial service. I just couldn't. It took me 50 years before I actually got up courage. That's in 1995, before I actually went to a memorial service. And I never even applied for my medals until 1995.
I served with the British Royal Navy. I joined when I was 15 years old, and I spent 12 months in training, and then they sent me to sea on HMS Sheffield, they called a Shiny Chef.
And how many years did you serve?
Me, I served 9 years. And then I came out and joined the Merchant Marine and done another 9 years at sea there.
Morning, gentlemen. This is an honor to have you guys.
Thank you very much.
I'm Troy. Nice to meet you.
You're going to do him first, or?
I'm going to go into Liz's chair and you're in my chair.
Oh, I'm going to change chairs.
We started building the barber shop about a year ago, and we had planned it right from the start. We wanted to give back. We have a rich history in our family. My grandfather, he served in World War II, and he was an airplane mechanic. The money he actually got from the war, he opened our family dry cleaners down the road in 1946.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is such an important thing for our family and our heritage, and it's nice to be able to sort of pay respects to you guys that made it all happen.
How long have you been friends?
Oh, I'd say about 5 years, Reg. He's asleep, is he?
Now, since the first Remembrance Day in 1919, hundreds of thousands of soldiers have fallen in the Second World War, as well as conflicts in places like Afghanistan and Siberia, and peacekeeping missions in places like Bosnia.
I buried 209 of my comrades, and the last post they play, in the memorial service when they play that last post, I just have to grit my teeth. It's tough, very tough. They're made by a poor old British war veteran. Oh, wow. Namely myself. Any Canadian soldier that's been on peacekeeping in battles, and they see what war can do, it affects them. And then when they come back home, most of them have this mental illness which we call PTSD. There's 150 Canadian soldiers have died after coming home. They committed suicide because it got too much for them. And they're the people I remember.
Okay, thanks very much.
All right. It's nice to see people taking care of us, you know. The politicians think that they make the country wonderful, but no. It's the politicians that get us into a mess, and it's the poor old veterans. They're the ones that help. They're the ones that created Canada for us, who died for us.
So many interesting people here in the Fraser region, Dean.
That's right, you're watching Fraser Focus, bringing you stories from beyond the bridge. We'll be right back.
As my grandson says, keep your eye on the ball.
Yay!
Fraser Focus is brought to you by the Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance Plan, Canada's #1 plan for employee benefits.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah! Hey guys, welcome back to Fraser Focus, local faces and local places. We're here in Surrey. We're doing a bit of bowling with the Guttarinas.
Guttarinas,
All right, let's do this.
Okay. I was going to the gym and some lady at the gym said, "Do you bowl?" And I said, "I haven't bowled since I was, you know, this big." She said, "Oh, come and bowl," and that was it. It's fun. I've been doing this for now 3 years.
Okay.
I even bought my own bowling shoes.
Oh.
yeah, see?
Nice. Years and years ago, I met her through friends. She was someone to know back then. I got her business card, and years later when she joined the bowling, I thought, I know that lady.
I'm known as a rock and roll photographer. So this is the first 20 years of my photo career. Daryl Hall, John Oates, Devo, Dylan, Springsteen, Art Garfunkel, Tom Petty. I've been carrying camera gears for a lot of years, so you know, it's like, you know, I have good muscles.
Oh, we should do an arm wrestle. 2 arms for me. All right, and go.
Follow through.
Okay.
And as my grandson says, keep your eye on the ball.
Eye on the ball.
No eye on the pin. No eye on the ball.
Guess whose turn it is to go bowling? My turn. Here I go. I'm up for my bowling turn. Oh, another gutter ball. I'm doing terrible. Stay with us here on Fraser Focus. We're heading over to another story in your community.
Adopt a Pet on Fraser Focus is brought to you by the Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance Plan.
Can you sit? You're watching Fraser Focus, Local Faces and Local Places. We are back with our Adopt a Pet segment at the Langley Animal Protection Society. This is Linnea, and who do we have here?
This is River. So she's a 2-year-old shepherd mix. She's a really bright, active girl, loves to train. She's looking for somebody who matches her active lifestyle, can take her on hikes and things like that. She's quite an excitable girl, so she's looking for a kid-free home, would love to live with some adults, maybe a male dog, maybe a cat in her new home.
And why do you keep pressing that clicky thing there?
So I'm marking what I like. I'm just looking for her to stay calm, sit nicely, not be a rambunctious little punk. Good job.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, and she's doing very good. Hop up.
How did she end up here?
She was a stray. No owner ever calling for her, so now she's looking for a new home.
All right, yeah. Can she do any tricks?
Shake. Good job. Down. Good girl.
So she knows a few tricks, she knows a few things, she's got a lot of energy, but she still needs a bit of training.
She does, yes. Shake. Good girl, very good. Sit.
So this is River here. Now we're gonna head inside and we're gonna visit Amy, and she's got a few cats for us to see. Here you have some cats, Amy.
Well, we do have a lot of cats available for adoption, but today we really wanted to showcase Gus. Come on, dude.
Gus has a lot of energy.
He does. So Gus originally came to us as a stray. We're guessing he's only about 4 years old. He's a very, very sweet boy, as you can see. He just loves snuggles, loves all his human friends. When he did come in, he wasn't neutered yet, and he had a huge abscess on the side of his face. We're thinking maybe from a cat fight or something like that. Usually whenever we get in intact males that look like they've been in a fight, we test them for FIV. So FIV stands for feline immunodeficiency virus. He did test positive for that. It is something he'll have for the rest of his life, but he shouldn't need any extra special care or anything right now. Yeah, FIV cats can still live for a really long time. He would just ideally go to a home without other cats. I think he would be really great with kids, actually. He's very sweet, very gentle. He might even be able to live with a dog. Just no other cats.
Why no other cats?
Well, FIV isn't super contagious, but there is a risk.
Possibility, okay.
If they got into a fight or something like that, then there would be a potential risk for him spreading it.
Gus is relaxing now. He's looking for a great home out there. You're watching Fraser Focus. Stay with us.
To burn the calories, to burn the, to get the blood going, dumping the sugars in your body.
Okay.
And exercise helps quite a bit with that.
Covering your community and your stories.
You're watching Fraser Focus. We're not done yet.
Teachable Moments are brought to you by Doyle and Associates Private Wealth Management with Investors Group Financial Services Incorporated. Do you have friends who have gotten divorced? Did they share anything with you about their biggest financial mistakes?
Well, a lot of them ended up in very angry battles around money and stuff like that because nobody plans to get married and get divorced.
I think there wasn't a lot of foresight and maybe expecting they could depend on the other person if ever they were in that situation, but really not planning that situation, which is normal.
How do you think you'd recover financially after divorce?
Well, I will do financially very, very good, or well. I don't know what it is in English, but we are in the Netherlands. We are very good prepared on this kind of situations.
I think I would survive quite well, and also my wife would too.
I was divorced in my early 20s and married then again at 50, and you look at it different and you maybe plan for the unforeseen.
Did you know that when you're going through a divorce, you can enlist the support of a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst?
Probably. I've read about it, yes.
No, I haven't looked into that yet.
It's not uncommon that most divorcing adults want to put themselves in exactly the same lifestyle they had before their divorce. Many are unprepared financially or emotionally for the changes, with less income and more expenses to support the household. Divorce is an inherently stressful process, but there are some steps you can take to prepare yourself for your post-divorce financial future. Develop a budget based on needs, not wants, and keep in mind that your expenses need to stay within your post-divorce income. Consider whether you can afford to keep the house. Know what you have and understand your financial needs. And don't forget to watch for tax changes. Lastly, work with a good team of advisors. As you take those first steps towards your new financial future, remember to work with a financial planner who has experience working with divorcing couples.
Teachable Moments are brought to you by Doyle and Associates Private Wealth Management with Investors Group Financial Services Incorporated.
Bringing you stories that are often overlooked by mainstream media.
You're watching a Fraser Focus. Stay with us.
So did you get your laps in this morning, Lonnie?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so.
And so what color of pin are you going to get this year?
Our Willowbrook club has been here probably for over 30 years now.
And it's made up of just people who want to get out there health-wise and
want to stay fit and walk and a social group too. We're going to go around here.
We're just like a rat, follow all the outside walls. To burn the calories, to burn the, to get the blood going, dumping the sugars in your body. Okay. And exercise helps quite a bit with that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, those are some nice shoes.
Oh, thank you.
In British Columbia, 1.5 million people live with diabetes or prediabetes. That's 28% of our population. Lifestyle plays a part, but there are other factors that are beyond people's control. Family history, genetics, where you come from in the world.
Type 1 diabetes generally occurs in people under the age of 18, though it can be much later. Right. It's often a rapid onset, an autoimmune disorder, whereas type 2 diabetes more than likely will develop in an older adult, slow onset, and it may have an autoimmune or an inflammatory response.
Did that hurt? Oh no, I've done this multiple times a day. It doesn't hurt at all anymore. That's super high. So I had a really carby breakfast.
So what should it say? What's ideal?
Post your meal, 2 hours later, it should be less than 10.
And you gotta wear good shoes.
Like those?
Yeah, and you're not like sandals. I gotta be careful that I don't stub my toes.
Wow.
Because you gotta watch out for infections.
It affects people in different ways. And for me, unfortunately, I went into kidney failure. So with my, I guess, high blood sugars, and it affected my kidneys. And yeah, I just have to be careful all the time. You got still some more to do? How many more laps?
And the other thing, what gives a person strength to take the insulin, the needles and all that stuff, you wonder how young kids, 1 or 2 years old, and they have to be tested and they have to be shot with insulin.
That's tough. I went to a little girl's house. I think she was 2 or 3 at the time a couple years ago, and her mom was making her breakfast and she had to measure every single thing.
1, 2, 3.
If it goes for a prolonged period without any insulin in her body, it'll start to turn her blood to a form of acid, which can get her really, really sick, and we end up in children's. Wow.
I just want to let people know how important it is to get the right diet and stick to it. My dad...
That is very tough. That's a big challenge.
Yes,
everybody says you can
big...
do it, you can do it.
You're not sure if you're going out a lot or if you're traveling a lot. Is that what we're talking about, Dixie? Your dad had something?
My dad had diabetes, and they figure that's what killed him. He would not stick to a diet.
Throw this in the compost.
The challenge with type 2 is to maintain the functioning of the beta cells producing the insulin hormone. And when that stops, then of course they would become insulin dependent as well.
Well, for platinum, 950. For gold, 715.
So you start getting dizzy?
Blurry vision.
Okay.
Gait wane or gait loss, mostly weight loss.
I have more pedometers if you need a pedometer. You want one?
Things to do to delay your diabetes or prevent it is to have an active lifestyle. Exercise and staying slim goes a long way.
Coming to you from Derek Doubleday Park here in Langley, that concludes another episode of Fraser Focus.
If you guys have a story to tell, don't forget to contact us. You can send us an email, give us a call, or there's always social media.
Search JoytvBC. I'm Atwal.
And I'm Leah Bolton, relaxing. We'll see you next week.